Life is good in Hashem. Christ loves you all. The Most High is everything. This is your Creation 13. I'm Starseed Bey. And today I want to talk to you about the category words, religious cult followings that humanity has created for itself. Basically, dividing the world and thinking that this group is right and this group is right, and that they have their right say and the other one has the right say, and totally missing the whole point of the message behind the transcripts, the original text. And that's been lost. And when you read English Bibles, they're mistranslated, basically Americanified. That's what I call it. They've been Americanified in a way of brainwashing you. And there is a small amount that actually has original translations, because if you do research, true research on people who truly translate the Hebrew and Sumerian texts, it's totally different. It's totally different, and the message is totally different. Just like the word hell does not exist. It is the underworld. They only talk about the underworld. Things of that nature. But basically, this video, just like it's entitled, there's no such thing as Christians. That word doesn't even exist. And it's only mentioned 3 times in the Bible. So let's go to the original word, Christian, and let's see what we find. And I'm going to do my videos this way now, so that kind of gives you an idea of how to do research. People always like to deny research. They think that their one way is the right way. So, a Christian is a person who follows or adheres to Christianity and Abrahamic, whatever that word is, religion based on the life and teachings of Jesus Christ. Again, Jesus Christ is an American-made word. So, Christian derives from the Greek word Christos, a translation of the word Mishak. While there are diverse interpretations of Christianity, So, this is really important right here. So, it derives from the Greek word. Now, remember, it's Hebrew and Samaritan. Okay? That is the true thing. Greek was what Hebrew was against. So, Christos is a Greek word that has nothing to do with the Bible. So, and the word term is Mishak. So you go here, or how do you say it? Jewish Messiah. So it is a Messiah. Okay? So the translation is Messiah. So Christos is a Messiah. Okay? So we go to somewhere in here. There we go. How many times is it? There we go. Alright. So check this out. So I decided to look up if Christians was even used in the Bible at all. So it turns out that Christian, the word, is only used 3 times in the Bible. Only 3 times in the Bible. So this leads to the point being is why are people labeling themselves Christians when the whole Bible, the American Bible, only says Christians 3 times. 3 times, that's it. And what is Christian, again, translates to Messiah, or the Hebrew word. Now we really need to start saying these words in the original text, because that's what it was. So anyway, so these are the 3 words. So Acts 11, verse 26. And when he had found him, he brought him to whatever that word is. And it comes about that for an entire year they met with the church, which there's another translation for that, and taught considerable numbers. And the disciples were first called Christians in Antioch. But remember, Christians means Messiah. So, and the disciples are first called Messiahs. And then in Acts 26, verse 28, and Agrippa repelled to Paul, and again, that word Paul is different. In a short term, you will persuade me to become a Messiah. So remember, Christos is Messiah. So in a short term, you will persuade me to become a Messiah. In 1 Peter 4, chapter 16, but if anyone suffers as a Messiah, let him not feel ashamed, but in that name let him glorify the Most High. So, but if anyone suffers as a Messiah, let him not feel ashamed. So the New Testament manuscripts are written in Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic. Originally not English, or English did not exist at this point. The Greek word for Christian found in these passages is Christon, meaning a follower of Christos. Christos means anointed or Messiah. Mashiach is the word for Messiah, or however you say Mashach, something like that. So Mashach is a word in Hebrew. So again, I need to research on the Greek because I think it's just because of the Greek manuscripts, you know, they were so close together with Hebrew. That's probably why they used them together. And how they're divided, that I'm not sure, so I have to do research on it. So the original disciples never had any formal name, and that is the key word. The original disciples never had any formal name or title like we have now. Jews, was it Muslims, Christians, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, you know, things of that nature, even Jews themselves. And Jews is another word that is mistranslated because the letter J was invented 500 years ago. So that brings another good point. But anyways, the original disciples never had a formal name for themselves, but were later called Christians by the Romans. So now the Romans come into play. But again, Christians doesn't exist. So by the Romans occupied atop Greece, in which the word had a very different meaning in those ancient days. So the meanings were very different back then. But they should hold true because that is how it was. So as our generations, you know, as life went on, people made up words to define these people. But at the end of the day, the disciples were messiahs. So the messiahs taught the ways of the Most High. And Christ, Yeshua, or Ashua, the original word, he taught you that, and I'll go ahead and read this here, okay? So in Matthew 21, verse 23, it's entitled The Authority of Yeshua Question. So Yeshua entered the temple courts, and while he was teaching, the chief priests and the elders of the people came to him. By what authority are you doing these things, they asked. And who gave you this authority? Yeshua replied, I will also ask you one question, if you answer me. I will tell you by what authority I am doing these things. John's baptism. Where did it come from? Was it from heaven or from man? Again, from humans. They discussed it among themselves and said, if we say from heaven, he will ask, then why didn't you believe him? But if we say from humans, we are afraid of the people, for they all hold that John was a prophet. We're told. So they were all told that John was a prophet. So they answered Yeshua, we don't know. Then he said, neither will I tell you by what authority I am doing these things. Again, that's a very key thing. This is why I love the book of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Because it gives you an example of why Christ came there in the first place. He was to show the corruption of the church and how humans listen more to pastors and preachers, and the Pope is a good example. And, Christ, Yeshua, was trying to show you, do not listen to humans, but the teachings of the Most High. And it's very corrupt. The whole Bible is very corrupt. But you got to realize the simple facts is that you need to follow your heart, your soul, be smart, do research, and find out the original truth behind the manuscripts and texts. Everything is corrupt. And that's why I would say there's like half the truths in everything. But you have to go back into history and look at the origins of everything. Just like the simple fact is that during these times, there were no light-colored people. And why is that so important? It is important to know the origin of humanity and where these come from. And, the idol worshiping that religion has come into, it's pretty bad. It really is. But the real term of Christians, there is no such thing. There's no such thing as these terms. They're never mentioned in there whatsoever. So, before I run out of time here, let's look up. Well, I kind of wanted to show you here real quick before this video ends. But just kind of shows you, and someone actually pointed this out in one of my videos, is that people worship this Jesus Christ character more than the Most High. So this Christ character, Jesus character, because Christ is an anointed Messiah, is worshipped a lot. And as you go through, see, Jesus, I need you. You're the one that loves me and has freed me from my sins. And this I question with everybody. Why can you not heal yourself? Why do you not have the faith within yourself to heal yourself? Why are you calling upon this? I know it says in the Bible, but you also got to listen to it. I am the way, the truth, and the light. No one comes through me. No one goes to the Father but through me. It's not accurate, but it's pretty close. I am the way, the truth, and the light. Why is it said that way? It's to allow you to say it yourself. I am the way, the truth, and the life. You are the way to get to the Most High again. You are in a vessel, a temple, that the Most High dwells within you. It's so very important to learn how to heal yourself and not worship idols, not worship this Jesus character. Idol worshiping. Christ is enough. This is another interesting one I'll talk about later. But Jews themselves don't believe that there is Christ at all. That's a different story. I believe in God our Father. I believe in Christ the Son. I believe in the Holy Spirit. Our God is 3 in 1. That is very true. Jesus is Lord. And then people praise and worship Jesus. And it looks like that pretty much is it for this video. As a whole, this video was made to make you aware that there is no such thing as the tag of Christians. And you really need to become aware of this because you are following a cult, human following, and not the Most High. So you're labeling yourselves. You don't need to label yourselves. You just need to realize what spirituality is and just humbling yourselves in the sight of the Most High and yourself. So I love y'all.